Today we are going to study a few types of constants. So let's first study those defined by macros, like this one, define buffer size 100. So we use macros to define such constants when those constants are used in multiple places of a program, and also they are subject to future changes. So there are two advantages in using this type of constants. First, they make the programs easier to understand. For example, if you see 100 in a program, you may not know what does that mean. But if you see buffer size, for example, in this constant buffer size, then you know that means the size of a buffer. And in C++, those lines that starts with a hash sign, those are called preprocessor directives, like this one and like this include. So when we give a program to a compiler, the compiler first processes these directives, and after preprocessing, the compiler starts to compile the source code. And for those constants defined by macros, what the compiler does is to go through the source code and replaces all the occurrences of, for example, say this buffer size by 100. For example, when the compiler sees this buffer size, it will replace this by 100. So these two lines of code, they mean exactly the same thing. They are equivalent. And note that for the constants defined by macros, they do not require memory, and they have no types, and also they cannot be used as a variable. Now, for example, let's take a look at this case. Here we have a function void print buffer size pointer, and the parameter is assigned int pointer buffer size ptr, and we print out what this pointer points to in this function. This is a very simple function, and let's take a look at this line for code, and if we can comment this. So this here, we are trying to use this buffer size as a variable, because if it is a variable, if it has memory, then we can get its address. And now let's take a look, see whether this can compile or not. So you can see that you cannot compile this, so the compiler will not compile. And if we comment it off, it will work fine.